Everybody lying. I just told you that. Didn't I just tell you that? Yeah. That was a lie, man. That fight was a lie.
Mike Tyson slammed Netflix following chaos in the boxing world as his fight with Jake Paul caused the platform to buckle under the strain of 65 million viewers, leaving fans stuck with buffering screens instead of watching the action unfold.
Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas.
You pay for a fight and get a tech disaster. Now the aftermath includes a $50 million lawsuit and massive streaming failures. Mike Tyson is adding fuel to the fire, throwing serious allegations at Netflix. Was this just a colossal screw-up, or is there more to this streaming debacle than we realize?
But he told him he was going to face Mike Tyson. We are putting the real and surreal, and Tyson in his trademark coming out fast.
The Tyson vs. Paul fight was billed as a historic showdown, drawing an astonishing 108 million viewers. More than just a fight, it was a global spectacle. Netflix, venturing into live sports for the first time, promised an unforgettable experience. And it was, but for all the wrong reasons.
Many were left in a fighting mood following the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul match last week, but not because of any of the punches thrown in the ring.
While punches flew in the ring, chaos was landing its own blows outside. Netflix, the so-called tech titan, crumbled under its own hype. With 65 million concurrent streams and a monumental audience, the only thing flowing smoothly was the outrage on social media.
Friday's big ringside fight could be heading to court. A Florida man has filed a $50 million lawsuit against Netflix claiming breach of contract after subscribers dealt with buffering issues during the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Fans weren't battling punches, but buffering instead. Screens froze mid-action, random crashes turned the fight into a guessing game, and entire segments were missed. The lucky ones? They got to stare at endless loading circles, wondering where their money went. Others were locked out entirely, as if they'd subscribed to Netflix Glitch Edition.
News streaming giant Netflix is being issued a class action in relation to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight.
Backlash hit harder and faster than Jake Paul's jab. Over 990,000 complaints poured into Down Detector during the broadcast. For context, that's more than the usual gripes from Twitter users on a Monday morning. Tyson vs. Paul turned into a tech disaster.
Tyson versus Jake Paul just got booted. People got big problems with this stream cut now.
Netflix didn't back down, boldly calling their botched performance brilliant. Yes, brilliant, for setting a record in live streaming complaints. For fans who missed crucial moments or couldn't watch at all, Netflix's defense felt tone deaf at best, infuriating at worst. What should have been a night of entertainment turned into a wake-up call for the streaming industry. Netflix aimed for the stars but crumbled under the weight of its own ambition.
And on to the game. Muhammad Ali, of course, Muhammad Ali. You know, he inspired a lot of people in our region, all around the world. Mike Tyson.
Oh, yes.
Mike Tyson, a legend whose name alone echoes boxing history, has stayed oddly silent about the streaming chaos. His silence feels strikingly loud, especially for someone known for speaking his mind, particularly when the stakes are so high. What's behind this unexpected restraint?
Champ. It was like people don't understand what a champ he was. Like he wasn't just the heavyweight champion of the world. He was an executioner.
One theory suggests Tyson is guarding his legacy. After all, this was his grand return to the spotlight, fighting in front of a record-breaking 108 million viewers. Addressing Netflix's failure could shift the focus from his performance to the controversy, potentially overshadowing what was meant to be a triumphant moment. Others speculate his silence isn't about protecting his legacy at all. Could it be a strategic move to let the storm pass while he handles things behind the scenes? Tyson vs. Jake Paul turned into a battle of its own.
Tyson versus Jake Paul just got...
But was Netflix's unpreparedness the real issue? Some fans read between the lines, wondering if the chaos was no accident. Tyson, ever the strategist, may have sensed something bigger at play. Whispers suggest deeper problems beyond just buffering issues. Could the streaming disaster have been a smokescreen for something more controversial?
Everybody lying. I just told you that. Didn't I just tell you that? That was a lie, Lance. That fight was a lie.
As the streaming issues made headlines, the fight itself became a breeding ground for conspiracy theories. Tyson's unanimous decision loss to Jake Paul sent shockwaves through the boxing world, and fans quickly began dissecting every detail of the bout.
Is that Tyson was required to complete 8 rounds for money. Some say that's how it was rigged. He's not going to go all out to shut down Jake.
Statistically, the fight didn't add up. Tyson landed just 18 punches throughout the entire match, an astonishingly low number for someone known for his explosive offense. Meanwhile, Paul's approach was cautious, almost excessively so, leading some to wonder if he was holding back on purpose.
Tyson win on uppercut. Then I heard some people talking about they could put that in the contract. You couldn't. He couldn't body and then uppercut. Like, how could you put that in a fight contract?
Former Dallas Cowboys player and now sports commentator Michael Irvin fueled the fire with a shocking theory. Irvin suggested there was a contractual restriction preventing Tyson from using his legendary uppercut, a move that's ended countless fights in his favor. It was like watching a lion with its claws tied, Irvin remarked during a post-fight analysis.
All left with the victory against boxing legend Iron Mike. After the fight, Jake said, "I have so much respect for him that violence war thing between us, like after he slapped me."
Now, here's where it gets juicy, like a soap opera with boxing gloves. The whispers around this fight go beyond who landed more punches. Think about it. For Jake Paul, knocking out Mike Tyson would have been the ultimate "I'm a real boxer now" moment, catapulting him into boxing's elite ranks. But here's the catch. Doing so might have alienated the very fans who revered Tyson as a living legend. You don't just destroy people's childhood heroes and expect them to cheer for you afterward.
Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas.
And Tyson, an outright embarrassing loss. No one wants to see their heroes stumbling out of the ring, reputation in tatters, just to boost some influencer's career. So, was there a backstage handshake deal to keep things spicy, but not too spicy? Competitive enough to entertain, yet controlled enough to protect the legacy? Here's the theory. Could Netflix, desperate to turn this spectacle into a massive financial win, have nudged things along? Maybe they whispered sweet nothings into someone's ear about how a tightly contested, dramatic fight would keep fans hooked.
Everybody's talking about this Mike Tyson thing. I was like, man, they should not be letting this thing happen.
I really hope he doesn't knock Mike Tyson out.
Mike Tyson, a name synonymous with boxing history, has remained notably silent about the streaming debacle that turned the highly anticipated Tyson versus Paul fight into a technical disaster. For someone renowned for his outspokenness, especially in high-stakes moments, his silence is striking. Is this calculated restraint? Many think so. One theory posits that Tyson is protecting his legacy. This fight marked his grand return to the spotlight, drawing a record-breaking audience of 108 million viewers. Addressing Netflix's failure could detract from his performance, shifting the narrative from a triumphant comeback to a cloud of controversy. But was Netflix's unpreparedness the real culprit? Some fans are skeptical, speculating whether the chaos was truly accidental. Tyson, ever the master strategist, might have sensed a larger game at play.
Your experience, and then what do you think? Because I'm not going to lie, the people feel like that was the biggest finesse. So what did you think about the fight?
While streaming issues grabbed the headlines, the fight itself sparked a flurry of conspiracy theories. Tyson's unanimous decision loss to Jake Paul sent shockwaves through the boxing world, prompting fans to scrutinize every detail of the bout.
You got to take that payday. I mean, what did he make out of that fight? He probably made $10 million or something.
Yeah, and Jake Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's bigger than.
Statistically, the fight defied logic. Tyson landed a mere 18 punches throughout the entire match, an unbelievably low figure for a boxer renowned for his explosive offense. Meanwhile, Paul's overly cautious approach raised eyebrows, with some questioning whether he was intentionally holding back. And then, things took a turn stranger than a reality show plot twist. Former Dallas Cowboy turned sports commentator Michael Irvin waded into the chaos, unveiling a bombshell theory that sent conspiracy enthusiasts into a frenzy.
Netflix is currently being sued over their Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fights. And it's not because people think the fight was rigged.
Here's where it gets really juicy. The theory that the fight was fixed doesn't stop with the boxers. No, it goes even further, right to Netflix itself. The streaming giant, famed for its binge-worthy dramas, is now being accused of orchestrating real-life drama to amplify the spectacle.
28-year-old kid who, used to be a YouTuber, and he's worked hard to learn boxing. He really has. He's come along, but really, he's still not of that.
If Jake Paul had knocked Tyson out cold, it could have enraged Tyson's loyal fan base, a crowd Netflix likely couldn't afford to alienate. On the other hand, a classic Tyson domination might have dealt a serious blow to Paul's influence and empire. So, what's the solution? Keep it competitive, keep it close, and keep everyone guessing. Most importantly, ensure the conversation continues long after the final bell.
His Excellency Turkey Ali Sheik, he wants to see the rematch between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and he's now offering Mike Tyson $700 million.
Speculation about Tyson's next move is already running wild. One possibility is a rematch with Jake Paul. The first fight was chaotic, and Tyson likely doesn't want to leave things unresolved. It almost seems inevitable. But would Tyson want to step back into a ring overshadowed by streaming failures and conspiracy theories? Then there's the classic option, a tell-all interview. A sit-down where Tyson could address everything: the streaming issues, the whispers of fight fixing, and even his thoughts on Jake Paul's overly cautious punches. But if there's one thing we know about Tyson, it's that he doesn't follow the predictable path. Redemption, retirement, or maybe even a surprise MMA fight with Conor McGregor, who knows? What's clear is that Tyson isn't done keeping us on our toes. When the dust settles, the Tyson vs. Paul fight will be remembered as more than just a sporting event. It was a moment, one filled with chaos, glitches, and conspiracy theories that shook up boxing, live streaming, and the internet itself. Ultimately, this fight wasn't just about Tyson or Paul. It was about legacy, technology, and trust. It's about what happens when a cultural icon steps into a modern-day circus, where the stakes are higher than ever, and the audience is always watching, even if their stream is buffering. As for what's next, Tyson may still have one last punch to throw. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when Mike Tyson throws a punch, the world feels it.